Okay, so here's our traditional bouncing ball code. In this video, I want to show you how to add a landing page, how to have your normal gameplay, and then how to have like a game over screen, and to be able to switch back and forth. And you can use this same overall organizational approach to have multiple levels if you want multiple levels in your game. So let's get started. The big idea is whatever happens inside draw is what you actually see on your screen. And we have different things that happen on the screen depending on what mode the program is in. So we've got like the introduction mode where it's going to show you the menu. Then we've got normal gameplay mode, and we've got game over mode. So we need some different way of knowing what mode the program is in and then doing something different depending on the mode. So what you're going to do is you're going to make an int variable called mode. And there's going to be integers. And it's going to be a code. So 0 might mean normal gameplay, and then 1 might mean intro page, and then 2 might mean game over. If you wanted to, instead of using 0 and 1 and 2, you could actually define constants. So int final normal play could be 0, and then you could set, final int equals normal play. And then you could set mode to be normal play. And that's the same thing as setting mode to 0, only now you can like see what the meaning of 0 is because you've given it a name. Okay, so how are we going to use mode? Down here in draw, we'll say if mode equals normal play, then we'll put all of this stuff inside curly braces. So now we know if the mode is normal play, let's do this. Else, if mode equals... I guess I haven't defined other meanings yet. So if mode equals 1, let's call that intro page. If mode equals 2, let's call that game over. Okay, so let's say the intro page is going to, what do we want the intro page to do? Let's make the intro page just have a different color background. So I'm going to make it be colored green. And then in the middle of the screen, I'm going to have text that says welcome at width divided by 2 and height divided by 2. Okay, so this is, I'm just putting this so that there's something that we see that's different. So that's intro page, and then game over page, we're going to say game over, but it's going to be red instead of green. Okay, so obviously you'd have a lot more code for your intro page and a lot more code for your game over. We can't really, you're going to be tempted to run it. We can't actually test it yet, though, because we have nothing that tells us when we should be switching modes. One easy way to test it is actually to just manually change the mode yourself. So like right now mode is normal play, so let's run it and make sure it still does normal play. Great. But then if I switch mode to 1 and I run it, now you see it just says welcome in a really tiny white font. Let's some things I can't abide. Let's just fill that. All right, so fill it with black, and then let's make it larger. Let's make it like 60, and then let's align it to be centered. Okay, sorry, slow. One more time. You don't have to do all that stuff. I just want it to look good. Okay, so now it says welcome for the intro page. Great. And that's because I set the mode to be 1. If I set the mode to be 2, then when it gets to draw, it's going to say, is it normal gameplay? Nope, and it'll skip all that. Is it intro page? Nope, and it'll skip all that. Ah, it's game over. Mode equals 2, and so it should do this text. And it looks like it does. So that's sort of the basic version. If you've got a lot of stuff happening in your game, it's probably going to be really hard to follow to have all of your code all in one giant draw method like this. So let's do two things. First, I want to finish the process of naming my integers for the different modes. So I already named 0 normal play. So look at how confusing it is if I say mode equals 0, mode equals 1, mode equals 2. In that case, nobody knows what these modes are unless you put comments. But the comments are also like a little bit, they're also cluttering up your actual code. So instead of 0, 1, and 2, like I said, let's make normal play equals 0, and then let's make 2 other modes. Let's make start, and let's make game over. And start is going to be 1, and game over is going to be 2. You might wonder what the final is. Final just means that it's not possible to change the value of this variable, so it's a constant. And so now down here in the if statements, I can say if mode equals normal play, then do this. Otherwise, if mode equals start, then do this. Otherwise, if mode equals game over, do that. So I've made it slightly more readable. The last step to making it more readable is make your own methods. So all of this code inside the if statement is about normal play. So I'm going to cut it, and now I'm going to make a normal play method. I know it's a method because I have parentheses. That's how Java knows it's not supposed to be a variable. It's in red because we haven't actually made it yet. So remember making methods. Let's go to the closing brace for draw, and let's say public void normal play. It takes no inputs, and it's void, which means it gives no answer back. There's no return value. And now I'm going to paste all that code. So now I know that whatever normal play is going to do all has to be inside the normal play method. Let's make a method for, let's make a method for the start, screen. Public void start screen, and then I'll paste the code there. And now let's cut this code and make a method for game over screen. And then I'll paste the code. Okay, so now you see draw has become very short. I say if mode is normal play, then do the normal play command. If mode is start, then do the start screen command. If mode is game over, do the game over screen command. And then the actual logic of what it should do for each of those modes are each contained in their own separate methods. So this is a great way of organizing the program so that it doesn't overwhelm you. All right, so I realized there's actually one last thing is we've been testing each mode manually by changing the mode up here, but we don't actually have an automatic way of switching between the modes. So let's do this. Let's say that if I'm in normal play and right now I'm adding 1 every single time I bounce. So let's say after 3 bounces, it's going to go to game over. So here I'll say if bounces is bigger than 3. So this is my test to see should I go to a different mode. And then the way I do the game over is I don't run the game over screen here. Instead, I actually change the mode of the overall game. So I'll change mode to be game over mode. And remember, this is just an integer. This was just like saying mode equals 2. Except I don't start in normal play. I actually want to start in the start screen. So, or actually, let's test what we've got so far. So let's pretend we're going to start in normal play, and then let's actually watch it go to game over. So 1, 2, 3, game over. Let's make it so that we can exit game over. We could do it by pressing a key, for example. So let's say you've got a public void key released method. Key released runs whenever you are pressing a key and you let go. So if key equals space, then we'll set mode to normal play again. Otherwise, well, let's do that much. So now inside game over mode, I can say, oh, where's game over mode? All right, so I'm saying game over, and then I can say hit space to restart. So let's let it bounce 3 times. So hit space to restart, and if I hit other keys, it's not doing anything right now. But when I hit space, oh, so that didn't work. So it looks like it tried to restart, but it immediately went to game over again. Why did that happen? It's because I changed the mode back to normal play, but all of my variables are the same values they used to be. And in particular, bounces is still 3 bounces. So if I want to restart, I really have to reset all of my variables. So let's go and find the place where I'm trying to set back to normal play. So here's where I'm resetting normal play. This is where I'd also want to reset all my play variables. So reset all normal play variables. So I'll set bounces back to 0. Maybe I want to reset X and Y. You can decide what else would happen. So let's run it one more time. All right, so it bounces 3 times. I go there, I press space, and now it's really reset. And then it's going to go to game over and it'll reset. Okay. There's like slightly more complexity here. So let's go to the start. Let's pretend that the mode starts out in the start screen. Let's test it, make sure it works. So there, I'm starting the start screen. Let's say that I want to press space to start the game. Well, so now I've got a problem because in key released, I'm saying if I'm pressing space, it's going to go to, well, I guess it's supposed to go to normal play. So in this case, it works, but I don't necessarily want to do that. Well, I should have set this example up better. Let's think about this. Well, I'm not sure what you might want to imagine, but you might imagine that pressing space while you're in game over mode should do something different than pressing space while you're in start screen mode. So the way to handle this is you only have one key released method. You can't make another key released method, but you can do the same kind of thing that you did inside draw. You can have if statements that have it do different things depending on what mode you're in. So here I can say if mode equals game over, then this is what you're going to do. Otherwise, if mode equals start, then you can have a totally different set of things happen. So you can say if I'm hitting space, then do a different set of things. If your key released method gets too large, you could actually do the same strategy. You could say handle game over key presses. And that could be your own method. And so you could create a method here, public void handle game over key presses, and that's where you could do it. So you can see that you're going to end up with a lot of methods, and that's normal, because you want each method to do one specific thing in your game. And so if you're handling the key events for the game over mode, you would want like one place in your code that's responsible for that. All right, I hope that this general overview has been helpful. Good luck.